Hey, I'm Terry.
And I'm Brian, and welcome to another episode in our Forest to Farm series. Sorry we've been away for a little bit. We got swamped with work, and we've been working, 7 days a week now?
A lot.
Yeah. So
we watch the sun come up a lot of days, and we've been sitting at jobs waiting for the sun to come up so that we can get inside and work, and we watch it go down that evening. Still at work.
A lot of long days. We've been exhausted. Any free day we've had, we've whittled away at a few trees out here, but we couldn't really do much, and we're too exhausted to drag out gear and set up, and just all we've been doing is cutting trees. You only want to watch us cut down so many trees before you say, I'm gonna go watch somebody else.
And several people on some of the social media that we're on have asked, have you guys quit your series? And no, we have not. We fully intend on doing, giving you information on everything we've done to this point, and we're gonna have to backpedal and show you, how we purchase the land, how we come up with a house plan, and just various things that we've done along the way that we have not yet videoed or filmed for you. But we're going to get back to that. It's just been, like you said, hectic. We've had so much going on.
But today we're out here. We are getting ready to have Duke Energy bring in power from the main line on the road back into the woods for us instead of transformer. We had a few specifications we had to meet, and one of those comes from a book like this. We had to call and meet the engineer, and he actually gave us this book, which we had one already because we do residential electrical work for one of our jobs. And it gives us the details of how to set a temporary pole for them when they come out. I'll show them the page. And this is the page. I'm going to pop a close-up on the screen for you now. It gives a good breakdown of exactly what you need to do to meet code for the residential electrical inspector and for Duke Energy to come out and set up your power. And they want the pole out here when they come to do the transformer. That way they make one trip and they're done. And part of those requirements to get the pole out here, or to get power out here, was to cut a 10-foot path through the woods. They said they would run up to 1,000 feet for us.
So what we recommend is, the first step should be to contact your local power company, which is Duke Energy for us. Get a hold of your engineer for your area and find out exactly what he needs to get power back however far. We wanted to know, how far will you run back before we have to start paying you to install this power. In our area, they will go up to 1,000 feet into a piece of property before they start charging you by the foot to install power. So we were fortunate that we're within that 1,000-foot range, about half of that. And so they're going to put that in for us. And we also found out that we had to have a 10-foot right-of-way down from wherever the transformer is going to be, which is right over here, to the main power pole that's closest to this transformer that they have service already available. And so they're going to run it underground. We could have overhead or underground. We prefer it underground because it won't be unsightly. And because this is a forest, we don't want to take all these trees down because some of them are going to grow to a maturity that we can harvest. If there were power lines, we'd have to keep the trees clear. But because there's not, all we have to give them is 10 foot on the ground right away that they can access whenever need be if there was a issue with the power lines.
Yep. So today we're going to dig and set the pole and get ready for them. Within the next month, we should have power out here. We've still got about a dozen trees actually 9 trees now.
9 big trees.
Yeah, to cut down and move, and then we'll get grading done, and then it'll be footing and foundation, and we'll be rocking and rolling on the houses. So we're getting real close to having some good content.
And in this video, you're probably going to see like the wood chips back here and logs everywhere and brush. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. We're just trying to get power out here. We're going to get water out here, and then we are going to clear for our lots. Grade our lots and get started building, hopefully soon.
It's going to be really nice to have water out here. I'm tired of leaving at the end of the day covered from head to toe in mud and sweat and sometimes blood and who knows what. So it'll be nice to wash off.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. So this is the 10-foot right-of-way that we were talking about earlier, and all you need is 10 foot between trees. It doesn't have to be like the root systems and all. They're going to dig in here, and some of the roots on some of these trees down through here will probably get damaged, and some of them might die out. We really don't care. It's, we've got plenty of trees out here. One thing I might note is we're going to put a barn over here, clear some of these trees out eventually. House is going out that way. Main drive's coming in to my left here. So the driveway to the barn will come from the main drive coming into the property. You'll be able to come up to the barn first, and then our houses will be in the background and field on behind that. Well, the driveway for the barn is going to cross this path that the power lines are going to run in. So we are going to bring a couple of pieces of conduit, probably 3, which are they're 10 foot a piece, that'll be 30 foot of conduit, to lay across where the driveway is going to go to the barn. And when they dig their hole and lay the power lines, they can slide this conduit over that power line and cross the area that the driveway is going to be in. The reason being, when you have a traffic area over top of the power lines that are buried, sometimes a rock will fall and just naturally in the soil, naturally occurring rocks may get against one of the power lines. And as you drive back and forth, you'd be amazed how much vibration in the ground, especially if you get a heavier tractor or a truckload of something delivered, or we're going to be running a sawmill, so there's going to be some lumber coming in and out of here. Hear that hawk up there? Anyway, the vibration on the ground can cause any rocks that might get against the power lines to cut through them. And if that happens, you can end up with a broken open line and it'll cause problems with your power. By adding this conduit, we're protecting that wire from any problems such as the rocks cutting into the wires, hopefully.
Well, these 2 white flags where the transformer is going to go, and per that book we got, we have to be within 10 feet of the transformer for our temporary pole. So we're going to find a good spot over here and get to digging.
So we've got this, 3, 6, there's 9.
Yeah.
That'll give them plenty of room to work. Let's do it right here.
Okay.
What do you think?
Works for me.
All right, now for some tools. Got to have a 2x4 to brace the pole with according to our local code, and a stake to drive in the ground, and we'll mount the brace to it. Bunch of junk back here. Our very well used Fisker's post hole diggers, and if you look at that pivot point, you don't open it very far, and they go deep, because normal post hole diggers, you got to pull them way out to get them closed down there, so you have to open the handles way apart. Because of this offset right here, those babies do an excellent job of digging deep. We set a lot of poles. They're expensive, but they're worth it. These, however, are kind of flimsy. They're not as good as they used to be. We need a new pair. Nice to have a little shovel to bury stuff with. The dirt back. We need this big sledgehammer.
Yeah, we do, for the stake.
Drive that stake. And this is an old, or not an old, it was a brand new replacement handle for a wheelbarrow. And one of the contractors we worked for had an old wheelbarrow. They decided they were going to rebuild it. They had broken the handles. Well, then by the time he got the new handles, he decided he didn't want the old wheelbarrow. He bought a new wheelbarrow. So he threw the wheelbarrow in the dumpster, and somebody threw these in the dumpster. And I said, "You're not going to keep those handles?" They said, "I don't have a use for them." And instantly I said, "Man, that is awesome," because we're always trying to pack dirt around our temporary pole, and you'll see in a little bit, to make it good and solid. You don't want it just flopping around in the ground, so you need to pack the dirt as you put dirt back in the hole around the pole after you've dug and set the pole. This thing will pack that dirt extremely well. It's the best tool I've ever used. It's heavy. I'm not sure what it's made of, but it's a good solid handle. So anyway, repurposed somebody else's junk. And that's about it, isn't it, Brian?
Oh yeah, we gotta get the impact driver.
Oh yeah, we gotta have our... We have nothing to do with Milwaukee, but we love their tools. And this little impact driver, we use it to screw these braces to the pole. It's a lot easier than driving 16 penny nails. It's more secure, and it does an awesome job. I told Brian for several years in our contracting business, he kept saying, Dad, let's get one of those impact drivers. I said, we'll never use it. I just use a regular battery drill and I screw fan boxes up or whatever work we need to do with a screwdriver, a power screwdriver. Well, we finally bought a set with one of these impact drivers in it. I don't think I ever picked the drill up. I use the impact driver every time. So sometimes young minds think better than old minds. He definitely had a good point.
Okay. Got to get my gloves and I'll be right back.
Alrighty, I'll get these stakes over here. Where's the big screws at?
Big screws are on the driver's side. This is going to be a lot of fun with all the tree roots in the way. Ground's hard as a rock.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so dry lately.
Need some help? That is hard, isn't it?
Very. It's like the one we set yesterday.
Powder.
Yep.
Well, this is definitely some hard ground right here. We got better soil up that way.
Yeah, this is a lot of red clay.
Just varies, I guess. That's okay, because that wood pile back there, all that wood pile right back there is going to be our soil eventually. That and a whole lot of other things, composted chicken manure and all kind of leaves and pine needles and all kind of goodies.
Yeah, it's getting really tapered.
Yeah, that ground's so hard. Hey, let's do this. Let's see how this does. I've never done this. Ooh, yeah, look at that.
That taper's a little better.
Yep. This is what they call a trench shovel. It's made for when you run a trench in the ground to bury wire or pipe or whatever you're going to bury. And you can get down, the trencher's usually about that wide, and you can get down in that trench and dig the dirt out wherever it falls back in the hole. It works good for this purpose as well. We're trying to keep this hole big enough around so that we can tamp it good. And this ground is extremely hard, so when you're running them post hole diggers, the deeper you get, the more they want to stay closed. When you hit the sides, they just slide inward and tend to close because you're trying to force them down into that hard ground. This is running some red clay here. So, by the way, the depth of this hole is supposed to be 36 inches. We know that to be approximately this line right here through past experience. So that's what we're shooting for. That looks like about it.
Okay.
Let's see here. Yeah, that's right there at that mark as we were looking for right here. So we're about 3 feet.
Alrighty.
Yep. Now, one thing.
Hold on, grab the whip maybe.
Get it around here.
Yeah.
The whip and the nay-nay?
Yeah, the whip and the nay.
Okay. Anyway, one thing that they ask is that you point the meter towards the road. In our case, you got a whole lot of woods between us and the road. Probably not a big issue out here in the woods. But if you're on a lot that's near the road, they want to be able to see that meter. That's going to go that way. So let's trench a little bit right here for it. This is a cable that Duke Energy will tie to get power into our pole from the transformer that we'll be setting right here eventually. And we just kind of sink it down in here a little bit so it doesn't bind it too much.
There you go.
Now, our handy dandy tamper right here. There's a few sticks in these woods.
Just a few.
They get in the way from time to time.
There you go.
Start knocking some dirt back in that hole. And oops, let's move it over a little bit. I can't get my camper in there.
About caught me in the head. There you go.
Let me see if I can get in there. Yeah, that should do it.
Okay.
Okay. Push a little dirt down in there. Hold up. Tamp it down. Kind of eyeball the pole, and
Keep it as level as you can.
it might not look level because these trees behind us, I don't know what the deal is in this area. It slopes slightly. And all the trees are leaning with that slope, but I do know that we get crosswinds coming in this direction on a regular basis, and I think it pulls the trees that way. So the younger ones tend to really lean.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'm gonna tamp this down good and tight, get that pole solid. It's already getting solid, we're only halfway up.
Then when we add the brace, it's really gonna solidify it and lock it down.
Yes, sir. This tamper works miracles. Perfect handle grip. The square makes it slide right next to the pole, beside it really easily, down the sides. Mm-hmm. Gets the job done well. I've used round poles. It just don't work out as good. You can use anything. Yeah, you want to try and get solid dirt down there. Avoid getting debris around it. Maybe clear it back before you dig your hole, because if you get all that debris in the hole, it doesn't pack well and it's going to settle. Pole could become loose if you get too much of it down there.
One thing that's really handy is good handsaw out in the woods. We're gonna cut our stake, cut our brace. The Irwin Marathon is a phenomenal saw for the money. I think it's $12 or $15 at Lowe's or Home Depot. And excellent saw, does a great job, really quick cutting. And for this brace, you want to cut as sharp an angle as you can so that it will go in the ground easily. Let's see. Will you hold that right there, Dad?
No, I'll do this though.
Okay.
I stand on it over here. Since we don't have a good place to put it. He's cutting this angle so that when we drive it in the ground, it'll have a point to go in the ground. You try and drive a blunt square end in the ground, it's not going very well.
A little hard to start a sharp angle, but...
And we're not on a solid base, but all we got to work with out here. We could do the tailgate of the truck, or we'd have to move the camera. That's too sharp an angle.
It's good. Okay, we're gonna drive the stake in the ground, and to find where you want that, you put the top of the brace here up against the pole.
And this is an 8-foot 2x4. They require a 2x4. They do not specify the length. Doesn't say not to be an 8-foot. 8-footer's not that much. We just go ahead and use it. We stick it up here and figure out. Yeah, go ahead.
He squares up on the pole where he wants it to be, and I see roughly where I want this to be. I want it right in here, and I square up to his post. Now he can move that. That is some solid ground.
Or a root.
Move down a little bit.
Well,
hold on.
We can angle a little bit there too. Get back up there. You need to be.
Let's try right in here. Yellow jackets.
That's never good. We had that experience last week.
Yep. Okay.
If you see him coming with a sledgehammer, get the hell out of the way, because Thor ain't got crap on him. That boy can swing a sledgehammer.
And I just broke the spike.
That's good. It's in the ground. It ain't going. Oh man, we can still screw through that side and that side.
One of my exercises for fun is pounding on a tire with a sledgehammer. So, yeah.
CrossFit. Okay. Oh yeah. Go ahead and put one in.
Okay.
On there like a rock.
Okay, let's get the lower.
Since that thing's split, I'm gonna hit it from the other side.
Okay.
And pull into it over here. It should be okay right in there. We're good.
All right.
Not going anywhere. Mission complete. So what you doing, big guy?
I'm putting my gloves on, bury me a ground rod.
Okay. Let's do this thing.
Kind of in my
Strike zone.
comfort zone.
Ground's not too bad here.
Every now and then you miss.
Mosquitoes getting my ears. How about you?
Yeah.
Okay. That ought to do it.
Okay.
You want to do the honors?
Gee, thanks.
Got to have an acorn nut. And you lock the wire to the post with an acorn nut. It's just a number 6 ground wire. We actually used a number 4 on that pole, didn't we?
Yeah.
Some areas I think probably require a number 4. Some require a number 6 ground wire. Runs up into the panel. All the specifications on how to build these are in that book that you can get from your local power company, or possibly from the local code office. Some of them are probably going to be more helpful than others. I strongly suggest, if you're planning on attempting all or any part of a project, one of the first things you do is go into the local codes office and say, go get to the head inspector and say, hey, I'm getting ready to build a house, barn, whatever, clear some land. What do you require of me? And make sure that you get a good relationship going with that person. If you start your work and they come out and catch you and you say, well, I was going to get in there when I got ready, they don't like that. They want to know that you're doing things right. So if you go ahead and play their game, you're going to be a lot better off. Because
just be straight up and above board the whole time.
Yeah, they're trying to look out for people, and being in the residential electrical field, we see a lot of stuff happen, and we go behind people. We won't do very many remodel jobs. We mainly do new construction, high-end residential homes. The reason being, and we've turned down tons of work, lots of money, but it's behind other people. And there are so many jacklegs out there you would not believe. And the things they get away with, and they'll go and do work and not get an inspector if they don't have to, especially remodel work or something. And they do some pretty shoddy work. And if we go behind them and then there's something wrong, that's a reflection on us, because the next guy that comes along says, who did this? Well, Miller Electrical was here. Oh, well, boom. We look bad, even though we didn't do the bad work. So anyway, you really need to follow codes, because they are there for a reason. Do it right.
Well,
make them happy.
Yeah. We hope you've enjoyed this little snippet that we're getting back in here.
Mosquitoes.
Just keep a lookout. We got a lot more coming. Once we get the footing and foundation in, we're going to be rolling heavy. So.
And we are going to go back and show how we decided what houses we're going to build. We're going to go backtrack and show how we determined what type of land we wanted and where we wanted to purchase our land, and just several steps along the way that we have not shown yet. We kind of got way ahead of ourselves with our first videos, and there's a lot of work out here, and then we've had, like I said, a ton of work coming in our regular jobs. But we're going to make it happen, and we're going to get them done. It's just going to take a while, so hang in there.
Yeah, this is happening as we do it. It's not being filmed a year in advance. So
right.
There's going to be hiccups. Things happen along the way. Work jumps in. We can't, if we turn down the work, we won't have any money to do this. So it's a process.
Yep.
But check back soon. Be sure to check us out on foresttofarm.com and Facebook at Forest to Farm, and on our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.
All right.
Have a good one.
Sayonara. You ready?
Okay, we are recording.
There.
Take 2, and we didn't even get started yet.
Yep. How do I look? Am I pretty?
You're beautiful.
Let me see your face. There we go.
Okay. I did it. You messed me up.
It's a girl slap.
Okay.
Ready, set, go.
Out on your shirt. You got horrible necks on your shirt. It's... All right. You ready? Your eyebrows all screwed? Okay. Yeah, that one's not going to be visible. Okay, you ready?